Chapter 33.
Even after Draco took a bold step risking his safety, Potter somehow managed to overshadow him, as always. When he came to, he found himself alone, his cries echoing through the room until they were answered by Madame Pomfrey's stern urging for silence to avoid disturbing Potter. One might think you'd support the idea of Draco waking him, added the most comforting voice he knew, especially considering Potter might never awake on his own. Severus! Draco exclaimed, all decorum forgotten. With effort, he pulled himself up, his head reeling from the movement. Severus, you're here. I survived. And you did too. What about Potter? Mr. Potter, Pomfrey said gently. He's had a tough time. So have you, Mr. Malfoy. He hasn't come to yet, but he will. Her words lacked conviction, but Draco remembered Potter missing for a few days at term's end previously, only to reappear in time to see Gryffindor clinch the House Cup. This time, he hoped to greet Potter's recovery with less irritation. I told him it wasn't you, Draco mentioned triumphantly to Severus. I was right, and he'll hate that. Severus sat beside Draco, wearing a dragon Ouroboros ring Draco hadn't seen before. Nice ring, Draco commented weakly. Whoever crafted it had truly fine taste. I'll leave you with your godson, Pomfrey informed them. Draco hoped Potter wouldn't wake to hear that part. Once she left, Draco hugged Severus impulsively. Near death had its privileges. Severus awkwardly patted Draco's back twice before gently disentangling himself. There, Severus muttered. You're not on death's door anymore. His look turned grave when Draco's unease persisted. Nor will you bear any scars. The reassurance surprised him when it failed to ease Draco's anxiety. Your friends are all right too. Granger and Weasley live to irritate another day. Unfortunately, so does Potter. I thought I'd die, Draco confessed, his voice displaying his muddled state. So, the Dark Lord, did Potter stop him? Frowning, Severus turned to regard Draco with a piercing glare. Draco, Lucius Malfoy. Don't tell me you endangered yourself on purpose to help Harry Potter. Draco gave a weak shrug. And what's this about you standing in for Weasley in chess to spare him? Gone mad, have you? Expecting a visit to St. Mungo's? Draco's lips twisted slightly. His head no longer hurt, indicating he must have been out for some time, expertly treated by Severus and Pomfrey. He remembered being more battered after the centaur's hoof. It just made sense, sir. They're important. But who'd miss me, truly? Severus fixed him with an intense gaze, gripping his shoulder with firm assurance. Do not, Severus enjoined with steely intensity, cling to such a ridiculous delusion, Draco Malfoy. Their eyes locked, and Draco felt emotions close to breaking through before Severus released his grip, clearing his throat awkwardly. Weasley and Granger are pestering loudly for you and Potter, he mentioned, as if that clarified everything. Was my wand found? Draco queried. Severus sighed, pulling out the Talon wand from his pocket. Perhaps better lost, but alas, here it is, Severus replied with a heavy tone. Relief washed over Draco as he accepted the wand, a satisfying sense of completeness as it settled into his grasp. Thankful to be alive, he asked. What day is it? It's the night of the 6th, Severus replied. You've slept since we found you last evening. You'll remain here, no disagreement. Expect Gryffindors snooping about for you tomorrow. Also, Gryffindor lost to Ravenclaw tonight without Potter. Severus seemed certain Slytherin would secure the House Cup. Draco didn't have the heart to shatter that belief. Well done of Potter staying out cold, I suppose, Draco commented, channeling Severus's sardonic tone, which earned a brief smile. But what happened with the Dark Lord, sir? You'll likely hear a full tale from your friends soon, Severus said. The stone remains unfound. Raising an eyebrow, he asked, What's your status on companionship? You said you had none. Is that still true? Draco was weary, but clarity required response. Granger's a friend, he explained, stifling a yawn. Potter and Weasley follow her rather than me. Study companions at best. Severus chuckled. Rest, Draco. Tomorrow brings another adventure, troubling your mentors, I'm sure. Professor Snape, sir? Draco called as Severus turned to leave. Yes. Any chance? Draco made his most pitiful expression. Could I stay the summer with you, sir? You are my godfather. Oh, my joyous burden, Severus muttered, shooting a dour look. Spare me those faces, child. But should your father's words cut too deeply in the coming weeks, I'm sure you possess hexes to silence him. Draco. Granger barreled into him, knocking his breakfast of eggs and bacon flying from his grasp. She hurled herself into his embrace, letting out a muddled scream. Weasley was right behind her, lingering uncertainly over the bed with a hand waving in an awkward salute. Hey, well, looks like the bacon stayed put on the plate there, mate, he said, retrieving it and placing it back on the table next to Draco, grimacing. Can't say the same for the eggs, though. Hermione ruined those. Oh, Draco. We were beside ourselves with worry. Weasley snorted, earning a sharp glare from Granger, who then focused back on Draco without skipping a beat. I thought you were gone for good, Frankenstein, she sobbed, locking him into another tight hug. Draco gently pulled away to regard her with seriousness. I'd like you to tell me everything that happened. Spero no detel. He was given the rough outline of the story, mainly what they had managed to piece together after Harry had ventured off, leaving them behind at the potions puzzle, and they talked endlessly until the sunlight shone high outside the hospital room window. It took some effort to persuade them to leave. Come on, Granger. Even though exams are over, you'll be pining for the library. I'll pop by before the term ends, I assure you. One would assume, Granger exhaled, giving him a reproachful look. After all we've been through together, you'd at least start using our first names like civilized people do. Draco grumbled, his eyes rolling with exasperation. He was too drained to argue over such trivial matters any longer. All right then. You can be Hermione. But just you. She barely contained the urge to hug him again. The thought, Hermione wants to hug me, popped into his mind. It felt as alien as trying to decipher the reverse letters on the mirror of Ariste, but they too had been decoded. Hermione, he intoned, do allow this recovering Slytherin his peace? And what about me? Weasley piped up testily. From now on, I suppose you're just Draco to me. There's only one Granger here, but a whole bunch of Weasleys, with my sister arriving next year. It's rather logical to call me Ron. Draco closed his eyes, a touch of resignation in his voice. Fair enough. Your family does number too many for it not to be practical. I'll refer to you both by your first names, but on one condition. He hesitated to capture their complete attention. You must both understand that under no circumstance, come what may, I will never, as long as I breathe, refer to Potter as Harry. They exchanged knowing glances. All right, mate, Ron conceded, while Hermione muttered something under her breath that sounded like boys. Hermione, if you think I could have a word alone with Draco, I'll meet up with you later. Sure, Hermione agreed, and left them sitting together. Draco soon found himself under the scrutiny of the most disconcerting gaze yet from the redhead. Why'd you do it, Draco? Ron finally asked, leaving Draco silent, although he understood the question. Why did you take my spot on that chessboard? It was objectively unfathomable. A Malfoy in place of a Weasley. Such a trade-off rarely, if ever, held up through the chronicles of time. Yet it did this time. And in truth, it made perfect sense. Draco couldn't divulge the entirety of his reasons, yet he didn't have to fabricate either. Isn't the answer plain? He asked, an unexpected weariness in his voice. As I stated back on Halloween, you are Harry Potter's closest friend. He chose you. That marks you as special. You are vital to him. He will need you for what lies ahead. This ordeal isn't concluded, Ron. Alas, It's not the last time attempts will be made to resurrect the Dark Lord. They will target Potter because of who he is, what he means, and there's no altering that. So he will need you. You have to be by his side. And what about you? Won't we be needing you too? Draco let out a hard snort. Oh, stop being daft, Ron. You get it. Potter and Granger, or rather Hermione, they are new to our world. But you are not. You're pure blood. You're standing in the sacred 28 aside. You comprehend the workings of our world. You know the depth of disappointment I am to my kin. I'll be fortunate if I even see a second year at Hogwarts. Ron's demeanor shifted, a somber intensity in his gaze. Draco, he said deliberately, if you're in plight, you must reach out to us. If your family, your father, an anxiety flitted through his eyes, yet there remained a Gryffindor resolve no weaker than his grown 18-year-old self. If you require our help, we'll offer it. The three of us. Just send word, and we'll sort it out. My family. Don't pity me, Ron. Draco cut in sharply. If there's one thing I cannot abide by, it is pity, from you, from anyone. I wish it never bestowed upon me. You don't have to hold on to pride so tightly, Ron remarked softly, a mix of pity and regret palpable in his expression. Draco extended his arms with a sardonic air. Pride. What else have I left? He asked, lacing his words with bitter irony, causing Weasley to chuckle, adding with a knowing shrug. I don't know. Us. It wasn't until Potter awakened and they scurried back to the hospital wing did Ron and Hermione recall the wager regarding Snape and Quirrell. Merlin's beard, Ron murmured, his pace faltering. Draco's surely going to demand we do our forfeits now that Harry's fine, isn't he? Hermione's pained expression softened Draco some. Oh, not you too, he drawled. Your acclamation isn't required. What's the point of hearing what I already know? We'll inform Potter you fulfilled your part before he woke. That's quite generous of you, Draco. I suppose you're letting Harry off too? Hermione queried sincerely. Draco gave her a look that suggested she lost her marbles. Have we met, Hermione? These were Draco's first words to the boy who lived when all three approached the sickbed that could have easily become a deathbed. Harry! Hermione shrieked, nearly throwing herself at Potter as she had with Draco, until she registered his disheveled condition and reconsidered. Oh, Harry, we certainly thought. Dumbledore was terribly concerned.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with more audiobooks. Happy listening!